Hello, I'm Dr. Brent Gibson, and today I'm going to change a little bit. Over the last few days, we've been talking about some nerve testing, some things that we can do to evaluate peripheral neuropathy. I want to take a completely different approach today because there was a question that I was asked by one of the individuals I'm working with on their peripheral neuropathy about testosterone and whether testosterone itself has any effect on peripheral neuropathy. So I did some research. I went in and did pretty significant research. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of background before I give you the results of what I found about testosterone. So the interesting thing, the more I look into peripheral neuropathy, and the more I evaluate it and treat it and help individuals understand their peripheral neuropathy and find ways to manage their symptoms and find ways to control the damage that's happening, the more I find, the more I realize that this is a systemic problem. It's not just a certain nerve or a certain location that's the problem. There's a lot bigger issue going on. There's all these systemic diseases that can play into it. Peripheral neuropathy is known to be a side effect or complication of diabetes. Peripheral neuropathy is a known complication of cancer and cancer treatments. Peripheral neuropathy is a treatable problem that comes after thyroid disease. But we're finding that if you have heart disease, if you have liver disease, if you have kidney disease, all of these things can play into it. If you have a vascular problem, a circulation problem, this could play into having peripheral neuropathy. And so why wouldn't having an abnormal testosterone level or even estrogen level not affect the peripheral nerves or have problems with the peripheral nerves? I did not look into estrogen. I'm assuming that there's probably some effects there as well, but testosterone is a known entity that, as I started doing research, there are study after study after study showing that there are problems in the peripheral nervous system and some of the central nervous system areas when testosterone levels are low. So let me go through a couple of different things that we know about peripheral neuropathy, and then we'll talk to you about how testosterone affects that. Number one of the problems that we find with peripheral neuropathy is a significant discomfort, a significant pain. Neuropathic pain is notorious for being the cause that people come in and are evaluated. Neuropathic pain also typically gets to the point where it doesn't allow people to function like they want to. So you're having all this pain, you're having all these problems, and you're saying, okay, yes, I have pain. So what is the big issue? How do I treat that? I can't take narcotics, they don't seem to work. Some of the nerve modifying medications only partially work, but have so many side effects I don't want to take them, or whatever. So you've got this problem. So pain being number one. Number two, I'm going to write these down to make sure I can go back through them and actually give you the exact reason, the exact way that testosterone is actually helping us, because I'm doing this off of the top of my head right now. So pain is number one. Number two, one of the reasons that the nerves start to malfunction is the myelin sheath, the Schwann cells that create the myelin sheath start to die. So they start to fail. They start to have problems that way. And number three is the axons themselves aren't functioning appropriately, whether they're interrupted or whether they're having other problems like that. The axons don't seem to have the right thing. And the last one, the one I'll talk about at the end here, is how age plays into this. The interesting thing is peripheral neuropathy is not a problem with kids. It's as we get older, as we start to age, that we actually start to see a peripheral neuropathy problem become more of an issue. So that being said, all four of these pieces can be and have been proven to be treated by getting your testosterone level to the appropriate level. So what is testosterone? Testosterone, of course, is the hormonal steroid, but it's also considered a neuroactive steroid. So the hormonal steroids are one of the types of neuroactive steroids. There are also some steroids that are released in the brain, in the central nervous system, that are also neuroactive, and that can actually help in the process of healing and treating these problems. So number one, pain. Pain is a very, very common peripheral neuropathy problem. And what they've shown in multiple studies that there are two different things that are found to actually help. Let me see if I got this right here so I make sure I don't say it wrong. The DHT and the 3-alpha diol portions of the testosterone hormone have been shown to be analgesic. They decrease the pain. They help treat the pain. They help it so it works better. They've also shown that with improving the testosterone levels, pain medications work better. And the person needs pain medications left. But they also, in a general sense, decrease the overexcitability of the neurons of the peripheral nervous system so that they don't cause pain, or they don't have the pain that we're having, this uncontrolled pain that doesn't seem to be alleviated. So improving your testosterone level will improve this. Now, number 2, the myelin sheath. They've shown that some of the activities of these hormonal or these neuroactive steroids are to help the Schwann cells work like they're supposed to, help them to repair the myelin sheath, which, as you know, with peripheral neuropathy, the myelin sheath, as it dies, you slow down or get weak signals through those particular nerves. So if you can actually improve the myelin sheath, you improve the functioning of that nerve, and instead of getting a slow or weak signal, you're getting the normal signal that's being sent, and most of the symptoms of peripheral neuropathy will decrease or go away. Number 3 is that axon repair. So as you're repairing the Schwann cells and myelin sheath, you also can repair the axon itself, and this works quite well. The interesting thing, this is very, very important when it comes to autonomic neuropathy type symptoms, because axon is one of the reasons why this may happen. They're showing with the hormonal steroids or other neuroactive steroids, especially testosterone, that it's actually improving the autonomic neuropathy. The autonomic neuropathy is starting to be resolved by 2 factors. One is this functioning of the nerve, repairing of the nerve and helping the nerve function more like it's supposed to. The second is actually signals and things that are stimulated in the CNS, in the central nervous system, to help in the functioning of the autonomic nervous system in the peripheral nervous system. So the testosterone is working both in the central nervous system, in the brain, the spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system to help the nerves function like they're supposed to. And the 4th one is age. The interesting thing is peripheral neuropathy is very, very distinct in age, and at the same time, so as you're increasing in peripheral neuropathy, you're decreasing in the hormonal steroids, because an older individual has less testosterone than, say, a younger individual, of course. And that's one of the things. So if they test your testosterone, they find that you're low, then what they want to do is increase the testosterone. So that being said, what's the normal range? Do we want to do the orthomolecular type treatments where we're overstimulating, we're putting tons of testosterone in your system? Absolutely not. We don't want to go above the normal range because of the many side effects that people get from injecting testosterone, for example, for muscle building and stuff like that. All the side effects that are not beneficial and not helpful. But you do want to be in the normal range of testosterone levels, and probably want to be on a little bit more normal range for an individual, say, of 20 to 30 years old, somewhere in that range, just because by testing and trying to fit that range, you're going to reduce the effects of the aging process on the functioning of these nerves as far as testosterone is concerned. They've shown just by increasing the testosterone, the nerves start to function and start to appear like they're not as old. So systemic disease is a big problem. And you need to look at the whole system. So if you're trying to treat peripheral neuropathy yourself, you're saying, okay, I'm just going to do this research. I'm going to go all over the internet and find everything I can find and do what I can. And you're not getting help or getting information or getting instruction or having someone help you go through the process and find what things are important, what things work, what things don't work. You may be missing some of the key pieces that will be easy for you to treat. For example, most neurologists a lot of times will not be treating your peripheral neuropathy by testing your testosterone levels. In fact, I hadn't been doing that always either in some of my individuals, and it's something that we're adding, and we're constantly adding to try to find the best ways to help treat people. So that being said, we have an opportunity, we have a way that we can actually help you manage your peripheral neuropathy. We can help you say, okay, what are the things that I can do to understand peripheral neuropathy in my particular case of peripheral neuropathy? What are the things that I can do to manage the symptoms? Maybe we need to increase your testosterone, for example, so you can decrease the pain that you're having. Maybe we need to say, okay, yeah, my testosterone's fine, but I need to do a little bit more. For example, maybe I need to do more in the process of controlling the damage that's happening to the nerves. Again, testosterone can help with that. And the whole point is we want to give you back your life. We want to allow you to say, okay, I can enjoy my family. I can enjoy my kids. I can enjoy the activities that I love to do. I want to get back to doing all of those things. This is Dr. Brett Gibson, and this is your Neuropathy Nugget Day 74. And we told you a little bit about systemic disease, and with a special focus today on testosterone, just because it is very, very important that you look at the whole picture when it comes to peripheral neuropathy. If you want more information, if you'd like to see a little bit more, join us. The Gibson Method 90-Day Boot Camp, the link will be below in the description. By joining us in this program, you'll have not just access to 90 days of instruction and help, you'll also have access to me once a week, so that through this process we can actually talk you through questions you have or concerns you have, and you'll have access to a large group of individuals, like-minded individuals like yourself, individuals that are suffering and trying to figure out their peripheral neuropathy, and you can get answers from them through our Facebook group and through these weekly calls. This is Dr. Brent Gibson. Again, this is your Neuropathy Nugget Day 74. Let's get control of your peripheral neuropathy.